I just saw waves. I thought it was just you.
Just me? No, but we're both on. Remember,
Okay.
we're a singular wave. Okay, Fabian, count us down.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to Idle Talk. That's the regular podcast intro. My intention was to be a mini,
So, all right.
but we're just gonna rock with it. We're just gonna
Oh,
go. That's how the people can distinguish the episodes. But today, I've got my Star Wars hat on. It's gonna be primarily Star
Nando
Wars.
Filoni?
Yeah, Nando Filoni. They used to call me Nando Calrissian. I just want the streets used to call me that. Yeah, you know, so yeah, you see me.
Damn, I don't have a cool name.
You don't got a name like that, you know.
I don't have a cool Star Wars name.
Yeah, what would your Star Wars name be?
I don't have a cool one. No, my
Nothing really rhymes with Fabian.
No.
Darth Fabian? No. That was kind of cringe. I felt that in my soul as I said. Think about one.
Okay, go ahead, but keep going. I'll think about it while you
think about it. I just need to take
talk
a sip.
about what you were saying. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so today we're gonna talk about the last couple of Star Wars things that came out, just very briefly. Star Wars Acolyte came out 2 episodes in. There's only 2 episodes, by the way. By the time you hear this, probably be 4 episodes out.
Can I just get this off my chest?
Yeah, get it off your chest.
I can't stand Star Wars fans anymore.
Me neither, bro. I've been trying to tell you that for mad long.
I think as time goes on, I just see how much of toxic fan base,
Nitpicky.
babies they are. Yeah, they nitpick everything,
bro. They're like, why that's not the right
Everything.
color of that droid
everything,
back then,
bro. It's like, bro, if you can sit there and suspend disbelief of the fact that the space wizards, just shut the fuck up and enjoy the show.
They
dog.
can, bro. They can. They have
It's
to.
ridiculous.
They have to take everything and compare it to the things in their mind.
But even the things that they compare it to weren't that good. Dog, I rewatched the old Star Wars and I'm like, there's no way we're comparing these two things when it comes to I don't know. They'd be like, oh, it just doesn't look, the fighting doesn't look like that. And I watched the old fights and I watched the prequel fights and I'm like, dude,
lie to you,
what are we talking about?
Some of the prequel fights
go crazy.
Are ass.
No, but some of them are so good.
Some of them are so good, but then some of them are just like,
yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Did you watch the original? No, the original trilogy fights are dog shit. I'm sorry to break it to y'all. The best fight in that whole trilogy is Darth Vader versus Luke.
It is.
And even that isn't even that good.
It's not even a fight. It's just like a couple of jing,
exactly.
And then they talk. They talk for 15 minutes in between.
And I'm like, there's no way there has to be a fog of nostalgia when it comes to these people, bro, that they cannot see past this. That they're like, no, everything that was made before Disney bought Star Wars was superior. And I just don't believe that.
I don't believe that either.
But it's whatever. It's my opinion.
No,
I understand that some people can dislike what I like. But I think people bitch about shit too much.
I mean, I like everything because it's like an addition to something that
exactly.
I
like the
love,
world.
You know?
I love the world.
So even if it's not that good, like Book of Boba Fett, it still contributed a lot of things.
That's exactly how I feel.
Leading into Mandalorian season 3, leading into Mandalorian season 4 is going to come out, leading into Ahsoka, some shit from Book of Boba Fett was in there.
Yep.
Obi-Wan Kenobi show led into a lot of these other things too. So, I would just appreciate what we're getting.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of
nothing. When George Lucas had that IP, he was sitting on it for years doing nothing.
He was just chilling.
So
he wanted to selfishly work on other projects. Because, and I say selfishly in the terms of that's something he wanted to do for himself. He didn't want to continue Star Wars. He wanted to flesh it out.
He wanted to start a whole new franchise, basically.
Yeah, he was working on a bunch of other shit that didn't come out, or hasn't come out, or has come out and no one really cared about.
Why hasn't he made anything since he sold off? He can still technically work. He just chooses not to.
The reason why he sold off Star Wars, which I was reading into, so I don't really know if this is a fucking cold hard fact, but that he wanted to raise his daughter. And so, being the fucking head of Star Wars is almost as if
you never had time.
It's like what I would compare it to is being like a professional sport coach or player, where you're on the road for a significant amount of time of your life, and then you get a little bit of a break. And I would say the little bit of a break is even after you're done making the movie or making the shows, and then having it premiere. Yeah. But you're still going to be contributing and working on something else.
Yeah.
Once that's done.
Okay.
So Yeah, I read online somewhere that as I was deep diving into this, that he wanted to raise his daughter, and so,
How old is his daughter now?
I didn't check that. I didn't look that up, but it's been a while. He sold it off when, like 2012.
12, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's been like 10 years.
12 years.
12 years.
12 years. Yeah.
So even if she was like, let's say,
Plus
5'6",
plus 12, 18.
she's
Come on,
maybe
George.
an adult. I don't know.
Come back. Bring it back. Because his son was in Revenge of the Sith, and his son was
A kid.
a Padawan.
Yeah, he was a kid. Yeah.
So maybe he just felt kind of guilty, like, oh, I didn't get to be there for my son while making fucking the original trilogy and then the prequels. Now,
But I'm sure his son still looks back fondly.
I mean, he
on
was
that
like, "Yo,
time.
I was
That's what I'm saying, right? Like, I was a Jedi. That's cool.
I mean, that is cool, but again,
because George Lucas didn't
being in a cool movie for like 3 minutes, having your father for a lifetime. I don't know.
I'd be in a movie for 3 minutes. I don't even have a dad anywhere. So why the fuck?
That's true, but he had a dad, and it felt like he didn't have a dad.
I get that. Yeah.
You know, your dad was never here. Yo, tell me how. Yo, real quick, let me make it real. It was this interaction I had at work, and I was like, yeah, you look like you come from a two-parent home.
Yeah.
And she's like, I do. Why? And I was like, nah, I could just tell.
Not enough trauma.
Yeah, I'm like, I could just tell.
Not enough trauma.
You don't got any parental issues. I forgot who was with me at work, and then we started dying. I'm like, yeah, you don't look like you've got a worry in the world.
You could tell, yeah.
I'm like, yeah,
I agree with you. You can tell when someone.
I'm like, everything's been going well for you.
Can you tell when someone has no siblings? Because I get that wrong.
I get that. I get told I act like I have no siblings.
I thought you were, yeah, like in the last episode.
I have no idea. I had no idea that was a thing.
But back to the Acolyte.
I do feel some type of way about that though. I'm like, I got two of them. I'm the oldest.
I would have never known.
I'm the oldest.
Like zero pictures, zero anything with families. So
private.
I never
private.
know. You right?
All that's on the internet is my dick and whatever is on here.
Dick is crazy.
You never got one of those like, yo, I'm gonna leak your private photos if you don't send me $200.
No.
Never.
No.
I'm like, this is your first message to me. Can you at least like get a batch from me to then tell me that? You never gotten like, yo, I hacked your phone and I got all your private photos.
No.
If you don't want me to release this, give me 200 Bitcoin or something.
Even
like
if
that.
they did, I don't have it. I don't think I have dick.
I'd be like, post them.
Yeah, do
Post
it
them.
proudly,
Do
bitch. Do it.
I really be saying that and they just be stop talking to me. They're like, all right, we're not gonna get him. We're not gonna. He looked like he would cave in a scam, but he didn't.
So, post them, bitch. I don't give a fuck.
I'm like, tag me.
But back to the Acolyte, Mr. Fernando Filoni.
I like that show. I fell asleep. I'm not gonna lie. In the first one,
yeah,
because I thought it was about to end, and then it was significant amount of time left in the episode. It just felt like right when she got captured.
40-some minutes, right?
When she got captured and like put in jail, I'm like, oh, it's about to be over. And then I start dozing off, and then there's more dialogue happening. She's talking to these people in the ship. I'm like, God damn! I just paused it and went to sleep.
Did you notice that X-23 is in the show from Logan?
X-23? I have no idea who that is.
The little girl from Logan? Did you ever watch Logan?
I didn't watch Logan.
Oh, well, never mind then.
I don't really be watching superhero shows,
No,
movies, unless it's like Infinity War or Endgame. On that kind of magnitude. I mean, Spider-Man movies I watch.
But you liked it.
Acolyte?
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it.
You like the characters?
I do like the characters.
All of them besides...
I like all of them except that that guy who... Yeah, Yord.
Dreads.
Yeah, the Dread guy. I don't know. He just gives me...
The Killmonger dreads that everyone has now?
He gives me the ick of like, this is why Anakin killed all y'all. I'm like, because of you.
He does kind of give me the ick.
You're the reason why.
But on the bright side, he was on that girl's side.
He was.
He was like, nah, I was following her. I was being weird.
He's like, yeah.
She didn't do it.
I was stalking her. She's good. She's good. No way. She could have done it. I was watching her.
That's what. I think that's the only reason I fuck with him so far. Is just because he stood up for that lady.
My favorite character is a little Padawan, little Jedi, little apprentice.
With the spikes on her head?
Yeah, the little girl. The little girl.
X-23.
Oh, okay. I didn't know who that was.
Yeah.
I think she's funny. She was like, in the name of the High Republic, you're under arrest. Squeaking as you say it.
Over the speakers.
I would be like, yo, shut up, and then run away.
I think the guy from Squid Game, Soul.
That guy from Squid Games
is good. I like him in it, and I like the little black girl.
I'm kind of confused about the Squid Game guy. I don't know if that's how he naturally talks or just someone's sound Asian.
No. He learned
Sound
English for
Asian.
this film.
Oh, did he?
Not film. Sorry, the show.
The show.
Yeah.
Because I was kind of nervous.
He's just a native Korean.
Yeah,
speaker,
yeah.
So.
I was just kind of scared that maybe they were like, yo,
Nah.
up Asian. Up.
It's just that he just recently learned English. Maybe he'll get better as time goes on. But I fuck with it.
I fuck with it too. But I was just worried about that.
Do you like the mystery aspect that they're like going for in the show, where it's like a murder mystery?
Mystery.
Where it's like, I mean, we know who the killer is, right?
Yeah.
And I guess
I'm just curious on who the Sith guy is.
Who could it possibly be?
I'm hoping
it's
new.
either Plagueis.
If we get a live action Plagueis,
or it's Shiv Palpatine when he was younger. It's either
but that's 100 years ago.
But
Palpatine's not 100, is he?
Yeah.
Word?
During this time frame,
that means he'd be 116.
The only
120 at least.
People that would like be around, the only Siths that would be around would be Plagueis and then a young Palpatine. That would be the two that in this area, in this time frame. And if they do something else, they do something else. I don't give a shit.
Nah, I hope they do something else. I hope they do something else, and it's like at the peak where Plagueis turns on his.
They could play us, and because you know how they're trying to like make it seem like the little, the main lady that were one of the twins that were following. I forget their names.
I don't know their names either.
The evil one that
light
we're
side and dark side. That's what we're gonna call them.
So the evil one that we're following is the Acolyte, but I really think that this Sith that she's following is the Acolyte. Sorry, the Acolyte. Damn,
come on, bro.
Acolyte to whoever the current Sith Lord is. Like, you know, the Sith Lord has an apprentice, and I think that apprentice now is training this Acolyte to take over their apprentice, and then that Acolyte is doing what Count Dooku was doing.
Yeah.
And was training someone on the low.
Well, if they're an Acolyte, it doesn't count.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, they're like, hey, that's not a Sith. That's an Acolyte.
Yeah.
That's an Acolyte. Oh, like, that's our Acolyte. You know, that's not mine. Like, you know,
that's what I think they're gonna do instead of having to, like you said, introduce because in canon wise, and everyone's gonna fucking lose their mind about it. It would either have to be Plagueis or Palpatine. And if they do use those characters, you know how the fan base is gonna get, bro.
I hope they do.
They might
I hope
not.
It's Plagueis without a Palpatine yet.
That'd be cool.
I hope it's Plagueis with like trying to find his apprentice.
I'm kind of going towards the fact that you know that shopkeeper kid. I think it's him.
The Ezra Miller looking kid.
Yeah.
That would be so crazy.
Because you know how like at one point when she like pinned him, he like throw it big, and I was like, oh, he can fight.
Yeah.
I was like, where did that come from? Because he seemed like a scaredy cat the whole episode, and then all of a sudden he like turned it up on her, and I was like, oh,
that would be crazy as fuck.
And then every time they had to go somewhere, he's like, oh, I got a ship.
Yeah.
Pull up. We gonna go assassinate this Jedi.
This Wookiee guy.
Which, by the way, that was sick. As everyone was so pressed about it online.
Really?
Yeah.
Y'all just not happy.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I'm like, that's so
What?
cool. They're like, they're not supposed to be Wookiee Jedi because. And I was
what
like,
about Gungi? Gungi, whatever his name is.
Yeah, but Gungi's supposed to be like 1 in a million out of like.
It's
so rare.
1 in a million. What about the million that came before him?
I don't know, man. Just Star Wars trying to complain about everything,
bro.
Everything. The one thing that I can agree with you guys when it comes to criticism that I've heard about is that the reason I like Andor so much is because Andor felt like it was actually in the Star Wars universe. You know, they're outside. It's very vast. But this feels like it's
different
a lot
planets.
of sets.
Yeah.
Like we're on a set here. We're on a set here. We're on a set here.
No, I think the Wookiee planet has a lot of potential.
That's what I'm saying. And it's only 2 episodes. So if they go to Kashyyyk, was it even Kashyyyk?
No, it wasn't even Kashyyyk.
Whatever
else.
the hell grassy planet they're on. If they show more of that and it doesn't just... Because right now it seems like everywhere they're going, they're in an enclosed set. Like the shop or the Jedi temple that they're going to assassinate that bar that she went to fight that other Jedi. And it's always so enclosed that I'm like, I don't like that we're not like really outside.
I'm going to give it some leeway.
But I did like seeing Coruscant back then.
Yeah,
that was cool
Coruscant was
shit.
sick. It looked clean, less pollution.
No buildings. It was barely all lower than the Jedi temple. So I like seeing that. That's the type of shit that I like. So if they give us more shots like that and more world shots, then I'll bump it. I'll
give all the shows some credit because they've taken us in different places than we've ever had before. So like
creativity,
the Disney purchase, all those planets that we fucking visited, like
some are from like
trilogy. Yeah. Like all the shows, all the planets that we've been on. The Mandalorian, the Boba Fett planets that we got to go, Obi-Wan show, Andor. We got to see a lot of different planets on Andor. We got to see a fucking prison planet.
Yep.
That was kind of crazy if we
cool
think
as
about
fuck.
it. Rogue One was a post-Disney purchase.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
That was a sick-ass movie.
and that's the problem with, and that's what pisses me off about Star Wars fan is that they'll nitpick shit. They'll be like, "This one was good," and it's like, so why was that one good if Disney owned it? Because they'll find a reason why it was good.
Like, it was that director who did
Yep.
that. I'm like, yo.
And if that same director then gets another film and they don't like it, then they blame Disney or that the director went whoa. And it's like, dude,
like J.J. Abrams.
just,
He
yeah,
did Seven.
I'm like, dog, just fucking say you don't like Star Wars anymore and move on. It's okay.
I think they're holding
They're holding on, and it's okay. It's
to
like,
the-
bro, you outgrew Star Wars.
last straw
it's
that
okay.
they've had.
Walk away from the whatever franchise this is. You don't like it anymore.
Just watch the shit you like.
Yeah, I
Just
don't know.
go
It's
back.
like hate watching
Watch
shit. I don't get it.
Original trilogy. Have you
A
gone
1,000
back?
times, bro.
Have you gone
Just keep
back and
watching
watched
it.
original trilogy?
Yeah.
I cannot sit through that anymore.
No, I could, but it's
can't.
boring. If you already know,
It really is boring.
Once you've already seen all the scenes that are supposed to like grip you, right? Like you're not
Bro.
supposed to know that Darth Vader is his
Bro,
father at first.
that exact moment, bro. I caught myself like that scene's happening. I'm on my fucking phone.
And it's
I'm
because
like-
you already know.
I'm like, oh,
The
yeah.
Obi-Wan dying, you're not supposed to know he's gonna die there,
Like,
but you already know he's gonna die. The Han and Leia kissing, and then
I'm like,
Luke and Leia,
ew.
the love triangle that you're supposed to like be like, oh, I'm rooting for this one and this one. If you already know that they're siblings, you're not
can't.
invested in it anymore.
My bad. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was.
And that's the problem. And it's like, dude,
Well, you were
as
cooking,
great as
George.
those films were at the time when they came out, and I'm not gonna discredit them. They were beautiful and they were amazing films. But get over it, dog.
There were
It's
amazing
nostalgia.
films after the first watch. Like, if
Yeah.
it's your first time ever, because that statement still holds true. Because I remember watching the original trilogy with my sister when I was bringing her up watching Star Wars.
And she
Then she had
lost it
that.
at
She
the
had that Darth Vader.
moment,
She
yeah.
was like, "What?" And so I think like when there's TikToks every day that I watch. I scroll over like making my roommate watch episode 4, A New Hope today, and then they're like, "Oh wow, like what happened to Luke's parents?" like if you've never seen it, if you've never been in
if
the
you
world,
just know of the name, the characters' names.
It's
you
so
don't know.
surprising.
Yeah,
It's
for
it's such a nice like journey,
Mm-hmm.
right? Episodes 4 through 5 and 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
People watch that. Then you're like, guess what? Luke had parents. Then you jump to fucking episode 1. And they're like, oh, he's a slave boy. The saddest part about episode 1, because I really don't remember episode 1 until I went to go see it. Bro, Padme's like, you're a slave? And then Anakin goes, I'm a human being. My name is Anakin. And I was like, yo, that is so sad. Because why did he say that? And Padme didn't mean anything by. She was just asking, like, what? They have slaves here? Like, she was surprised. She was because she's a handmaiden at the time, right?
Yeah.
Which are basically slaves. They're basically servants.
They're servants
to the
yeah,
fucking queen.
To the queen, yeah.
But she was like, you're a slave, and he's like, I'm a human being.
And it's probably because on his planet,
It's
being
natural.
looked at as a slave, and he's like, I'm not just a slave, like I'm a person.
Yeah, literally, a fucking Watto treats him like the illest slave. He's like,
Yep.
yo, hold on, I have guests. Go clean whatever you had to go clean in the back.
Yeah.
And then, that was the most heartbreaking part about episode 1. I was like, God damn.
How many orphans has he made after?
Anakin
though?
really
How
trying
many-
to be a
How many
human.
orphans has he made after? Huh?
You know, how many times have the Jedi failed him? I don't know. You know,
And you
one
know,
could say
and that's
there's
what
a
I'm saying
correlation.
about the Acolyte show, right? It shows the hubris of the Jedi, and I love that. It's like you can now understand why they've lost so many times because of how dumb they act, bro.
They really do be acting stupid, bro.
Yeah.
They're like, nah, we got to have a meeting before you could go over there. Like, why didn't you have the meeting when I told you about it a
Yeah.
few hours ago?
When I
Like,
told you that there was targeting this fucking Jedi, and now he's dead, bitch.
They're like, nah, you know, like, fucking Master Fabian had a massage scheduled. We had to wait until
We had a council meeting, but Fabian wasn't at the toilet.
he
and
wasn't
couldn't-
available. He wasn't available, and then lunch was approaching, so we're like, you know what, let's postpone it for lunch.
And then Master Yoda had lightsaber teaching class. He couldn't
yeah,
come.
he couldn't come. Like, we couldn't cancel that. The Padawans are really looking forward to it. I'm like, why did you have the meeting already? Like, the meeting should have been done. You should have told me, yeah, go.
As I get it, bro. It's so stupid.
I'm like, the Jedi were really political back then,
They're
even
dumb.
without being involved in the Senate. Like,
No,
that.
I mean they're
there, but they're
they're
not heavily like.
they're like getting into like
Yeah.
working with them now. Yeah,
I was like, you need permission from who?
the Jedi Council.
Just
I don't know.
go
but
to
that's,
them.
But that's why Soldier was like, I'm not doing that. He's like, I'm not reading all that.
Yeah,
And hung up and
He's
was like, I'm doing it
He's
anyway.
like, I'm gonna still go.
Pretty much.
Man,
The fight scenes are really good in that show.
yes, I do. I would say that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like a good in between from like original
The prequels
trilogy
and the original.
prequels.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
The
good
only ones that I
mix.
could agree that are bad are sequel trilogy fights. The only time that I was like, this is crazy cool was the Red Praetorian Guard fight, but then if you rewatch it, you see them standing around a lot, and you're like,
chilling,
damn,
waiting for the cue.
And then you're like, damn,
that's just bad choreography.
Yeah, you're like, damn, if I didn't notice that there's a lot of them sitting here this week, because when I first watched, I was like, this fight is sick.
Like they're waiting their turn to get killed.
Yeah, literally. And then I go back and I rewatch it, and I'm like, damn, they really are just sitting there like waiting to go, and I'm like, no. But this one is good, and I like the fact that back then Jedis really were protectors more than soldiers, right? They will not pick up their weapon unless you draw a weapon.
Word, they don't.
They won't draw their lightsaber unless you draw a weapon, and then I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool.
And half the time when you draw a weapon, they don't even take out the lightsaber because like my lightsaber is not an equivalent to whatever weapon you have. Like I'm skilled enough to disarm you. And then not even worry about whatever little shit that you got. And they do. Like, how many times she got stopped with the Force? I was like, damn,
when
she
Sol
sucks.
took all her knives and dropped them, I was like, damn, that was so gangster, bro.
She really is bad at fighting.
That's so gangster.
It's because they fought differently back then. Like, they weren't like Anakin, who's always like, I could disarm you by attacking you first and heavily. Like,
if I hit you a lot, best defense is the best offense.
You're gonna get tired. When he was fucking beating Barris with his lightsaber single-handedly, and then the Padawans are watching, and then the Coruscant guard, like the little Jedi guys are like, all right, man, you got this gang. And then he picks her up with the Force, slams her into the life tree, and they're like, you're under arrest. Like,
we also got to see Tobin do a giant Force bubble and not speak for a bit. Master Tobin.
Yeah, that was weird. The only thing that irked me about that scene was his hairline.
His hairline was crazy.
I understand he's an old Jedi master. I'm like,
why they do my man?
Is that his actual hairline, or did
no, it's a wig. It's
like,
a bad fucking wig.
I'm like, y'all really wanted to sell us on the fact
show you
he was
scenes
old.
of him when he was younger, like flashback scenes, and he don't got
and
that
it's
wig.
And it's his regular
hair.
I was like, damn, they did him so dirty. That's what took me out of the scene.
They gave him a dog shit wig. I agree.
I was like, damn. And then he was suicidal. I'm like, that's not the Jedi way.
But that's the point, right? It's supposed to show you that like a lot of these Jedi that are supposed to follow code that really didn't. No. Right? They just pretended to be higher than all, and
even freaking Squid Game guys attached to his Padawan. I'm like
extremely attached, and it's like, supposed to be against the rules.
That's the same. That's what Anakin and Ahsoka right there.
Yep,
he's like, she didn't do it, guys. You had to let go of your Padawan. like when fucking Ahsoka and Barris got buried in fucking rocks, tons of rocks in Geonosis, and Barris Offie's master is like,
shit.
She died.
What it is.
She died. I get a new one.
Luminara was like, it is what it is, dog.
She was like, you know what? If
Anakin was like, what's wrong with you, bitch?
If the Force dictates it's her time, it's her time. Anakin's like, what? Rex, get the fucking AT-ATs and start scavenging. Bro, I was crying when Luminara was like, if the Force says it's her time, then I will bid farewell to my Padawan.
That green lady in the Acolyte is also the same race as
Luminara.
And Barris, yeah.
Oh.
That's why she's green and got those markings on her head.
Yeah, she's really
on
green
her dome.
now. She's like a really green.
She's super green, yeah.
It kind of reminded me of like She-Hulk green.
Yup. That like unrealistic CGI green. I think that's probably what it was. I think they didn't paint her.
You know what I miss?
I think they just CGI'd green on her face.
I miss the random cameos from like other species, like in Star Wars. Because if you see the Senate scenes, you can see ET's people.
Yep.
In like episode 3, I just kind of want to bring that back. I want to bring like a random like.
They do that, but with.
Because I swear, one of the Pirate of the Caribbean like.
Actors? The Squid Person?
The Squid Person is in one of the movies somewhere. Or maybe
really?
It was
Davy
a dream?
Jones?
I swear that race of people is in Star Wars somewhere.
I know the ET one is absolutely real. I've seen that 1,000 times.
Maybe I'm having like a fever dream. Or
it might have been. Because I don't think I've ever seen Davy Jones.
Like I wish we just had more of those cameos in Star Wars.
We have cameos for creatures.
Especially because Disney owns shit now.
They could use it.
I'm like, yo, just pull up some IPs and just sneak them in.
They were using races that we barely see, like that little fuzzy guy, the Apprentice. By the way, what were they doing with the little black girl that she was like, I see fire? Was it just supposed to scare us? That
was a flashback to.
No, it wasn't.
That wasn't a flashback.
No, because then the green lady walked and I thought it was a flashback, and I was like, are we just supposed to see that? Like, was it showing us that like no matter how many years go by, there's always gonna be one kid who just gravitates to the dark side of the Force because that's just how it is?
And why is it always the black people?
That is very true. That is very true. They always make the black people.
The only chill one that uses the dark side is Mace Windu that people like. I'm like, because he uses the dark side for good. I'm like,
but everyone else can't do it.
I'm like, but he's black. And then the girl from the Kenobi show,
Was Black Reva?
She's Black Reva.
Mm-hmm.
Now we got the Acolytes characters who are good side, bad side.
They have cool fucking names too.
They do have cool names.
They have very Star Wars names, and that's why I like them because a lot of
and we're not prepared to tell you.
And I forget them.
And then now this I thought that was a flashback. I swear I thought that was a flashback.
No, it was like him training, and then it was like, oh, did you hear that your apprentice is killing people? And he's like, what?
It's like, no way, that can't be her.
So yeah.
Okay, so racism in Star Wars.
I liked the first and second episode. I think it's good, and I like where they're going. I like the murder mystery. Love the characters besides Eric.
I'm excited to see
the
saber whip. I'm excited to see that.
I love the saber.
Because we saw that in Clone Wars, but it wasn't a saber whip. It was like the similar concept, but it was from the slave people.
Yeah.
So speaking of Clone Wars,
yeah, on that planet when they was whipping Anakin
and then it took like 20 whips, and then the girl was like, "Oh shit!" He was like, "Yo, I
can't wait to see the whip. I can't wait to see that Wookiee fight with a lightsaber. I love the fact that there's yellow lightsabers in canon again.
Yeah,
that's sick to see.
And it's so casual to see them.
Yeah,
like especially back
Yoda
then.
was like, no, and it was yellow. I was like, whoa,
like, what the fuck? And they were using it as a flashlight. He was like, they're like looking for shit
cool,
with the lightsaber, which is a practical use for the lightsaber, honestly. I would use that shit as a lightsaber. Too. I'd be like, where the fuck is this? Where the fuck is that?
Every second I need to like,
hey guys, have you seen my
just to show off that I got one every time.
I got one of these things. But I got my Dave Filoni hat on today for one particular specific reason.
Okay, hit it.
We are in the end of an era. Clone Wars era is officially over.
No.
This past May 4th was the last
movie.
little bit of stuff that we got, right? Until that, right?
Okay.
So I kind of want to brainstorm with you.
Okay.
Favorite. I want a live action Clone Wars show. Limited series.
Okay.
Like, I don't want to remake the entire thing. I don't want to have all those episodes just remade, right?
So what arcs do you want?
Boom! I've got my live action Clone War arcs here, my top 5.
That was so fast.
That I'm ready to go. This is the arcs that I would use. Each of them were probably 4 episodes, so that's probably the most that we're going to use. So, number 5. It's a very well-balanced list, I think. So, number 5 is the D-Squad arc. That is the arc where R2 takes a bunch of droids and that little alien guy.
No.
We get to see Gregor.
Please, no.
I like that arc.
Where he's like a cook?
Yeah,
and they change him and they remind him of what he used to be.
But the whole story though.
I love the story, but God, the droids are so insufferable.
No,
dog.
they're not.
I cannot stand story with droids.
They're not.
Okay, well go ahead.
It's a well balanced. It's a well balanced.
I gotcha.
Okay, because at the end of it, R2 has to stop the cruiser from crashing into the super secret Republic war meeting.
Okay.
And if it doesn't get stopped, everybody that we know and love is gonna die.
Okay.
And then R2 stops it.
R2's
and then he dies. And then
he's not really
the guy calls in and he's like, "This is General Anakin Skywalker. What's going on?" He's like, "Oh, da da da." He briefs him, lets him know. He's like, "Yeah, but R2 saved us." He's like, "R2?" He's like, "Yeah, but he's dead." And then they go look for R2 and they build up R2 again and everybody's happy. And it's like a little like high five moment with the droids.
Okay.
I don't know. I think we need more droid stuff. I'm tired of these humans because humans are disappointing me. Okay? I think
so. How would we do this practically?
That's why I put it practically. It's the easiest one to make.
Hold on.
Because they're just droids.
I know, but
animated.
CGI. They already have the droid like suit for C3 and R2, right?
Yes.
Which means they would have to make either little practical droids like them, or use CGI and then try to make them fit with the practical droid that they have.
It could work because it was a droid.
And then who are you gonna make for Anakin? You gonna make Anakin?
I'm gonna make Hayden Anakin.
But he has to look a lot younger for that arc.
I think we just gotta stop nitpicking about that. Just let him look how he looks. I mean, he was killing it in Ahsoka.
And then you gonna pick Tamora Morrison.
He's just gonna wear
Gregor?
the same fit.
But you want Tamora Morrison to be Gregor?
See, I don't mind if he never takes off his helmet and it's just the voice.
It's just the guy's voice.
Yeah. I don't mind if the clones never take off
hold
their
up, how would you ever make that storyline? He's a cook for most of the.
Oh, you're right.
He's a cook.
So I'll just cast some guy that looks. You know how the clones are drawn?
Similarly.
You know how they're drawn?
Yeah.
I will have them look like that.
Okay.
Like that. Like find somebody who looks like the clones that are animated, and I'm good to go.
Okay.
I'm good to go.
Because, and then have them.
Because
have
Hollywood
the guy
has done worse.
Dub them over.
Yeah, exactly. Hollywood has done that a significant amount of time. Okay. So Star Wars is not above that.
I'm gonna give that.
That's what's number 5.
I'm gonna give that plot
number 5.
A 6 out of 10.
That's number 5. But again, I want to get everything I want to capture everything that encapsulates.
Out of 10 if I want to watch this. I'm gonna give that one a 6.
That's why it's the first few episodes.
Okay.
And that's why we start off with that, right? Because it's like it's a different part of the Star Wars Clone Wars animated like verse, right?
Okay.
So my fourth one, we're gonna go right into this. It's gonna be the Onderon arc. So Anakin and Obi-Wan are with the Jedi Council, and they're talking about this planet that has been taken over by the Separatists under a coup. And this is the planet that a young Saw Gerrera lives on.
With his sister. Oh, yeah. I like this one. Okay.
And
I like this arc.
Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka are going to there to train these rebels to liberate their planet without the Republic necessarily being involved. And I think it's a very, like, fundamental piece of Ahsoka's story. That's because she's on her own. Anakin and Obi-Wan leave her like, all right, you handle this.
Someone very important to her.
You're cool. Like, train them, be
dies,
them.
No?
Yeah. And the sister dies, right? And so one of her, like, I don't want to say like Ahsoka's ex is there, but it's like, but they have like a thing.
Yeah, it's basically her.
It's a romantic interest, and you're not a Jedi if you don't have a romantic interest. I mean, that's just part of the gig. You know, Obi-Wan has Satine, Anakin has fucking Padme, and who knows who. Quiddy Mundi has like 9 wives.
8 wives or
some shit like that. I'm like, so if he could fuck, everybody could fuck.
That's what I'm. They were so hypocrites, bro. It's bullshit.
But I think it'll be cool to see a young Saw Gerrera. Before
who would you cast?
Who would I cast? I'm not in charge of casting, Fabian. You're in charge. If anything, I'd make you young Saw Gerrera because you kind of look like him.
No, I don't.
I feel like he would have your hair. If
he's Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah, but somebody who look at Forrest Whitaker. I don't think it matters who you cast in that role. Okay. I just think the story.
I want the girl who played young Ahsoka to be young Ahsoka.
Obviously,
the girl who was in Barbie.
Obviously,
she's good.
Obviously, Fabian. If we already have a fucking person cast there, just keep him there, Fabian. No,
my bad.
Thing to change.
How about Rex? Rex is important.
He is, and he doesn't wear clone armor that time. So whoever played Gregor in the last thing,
you gonna keep him in every
shave your head. You're the next guy because
shave your head, dye it blonde. You're Rex now.
You're Rex now, exactly. Because the clones just look like each other.
Yeah.
So if a guy looks like the guy who played Gregor, then that's fine.
And then we gotta find Ahsoka's boyfriend, Timothy Chalamet Ding Dong, maybe.
Honestly, that's not a bad.
That's what I'm saying.
or if you want to be in Star Wars, and dude, bro, hit my line. I'm casted for this live action Clone Wars show. That's not a bad choice.
I like that for the kid. He's a pretty boy, and he has to learn how to like fight. And I feel like
he's a senator, and his mom got killed. So I think he could play.
That's not his real name. Don't say that.
Timothy?
I don't know his last name. I know his last name. I just can't say it. So I always say some dumb shit.
Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah.
Chalamet.
Pretty much.
Yeah, you were struggling with Acolyte, struggling with Timothy Chalamet's last name.
Yep.
Okay, the third arc I would put...
Real quick, before we go on. Don't you think it would be way too similar to arcs that we've already had in other live-action shows?
Yes, but I want it in Clone
Mando
Wars.
when he trains that one village, right?
But I want it in Clone Wars.
Okay, fair.
But this arc is the closest thing to Rogue One, but animated.
Okay, fair.
Because it's really nitty-gritty. Like they're like in the forest.
I remember,
they're like
he was teaching. They were teaching him how to fight like separatists.
Yeah, like they're beheadings. They take over a tank, knock out the power. The people are at first revolting against them, even though they're helping them. So it's like a very like it truly is like by the end of that arc, like they get the king back. Even the king's guard, who's guarding the new king, gives up on them and goes and joins these rebels.
Yeah.
Anakin and Obi-Wan have to find a way to help them now that the Count Dooku has dispatched these fucking flying tank droids that just shoot missiles and missiles and missiles, and they're ray shielded. And so now Anakin and Obi-Wan are like, guys, we can't help you. Ahsoka, get out. Obviously, like, if you can't help them, if you see it's losing, like, get out. That's all Obi-Wan says. And Anakin's like, we got to find a way to help them. And then Mace Windu's like, I don't know, man. We already did too much for them. We already gave them all these guns.
Yeah.
And then we get to see Hondo, and he smuggles some rockets to them, which is, I like that cameo that he comes in, and he's like, ooh, wow. He looks at Saw Gerrera's sister. He's like, ooh, that's a spice I like.
Oh.
So he's wilding. He's like, Hondo, you like 1 billion years old. I don't know how old you are, but I know that's not legal. So you better watch out. But I think it's a very it's from start to finish. It's a very solid story, and I would like to see it because it'll give us a taste again of what Rogue One was. Okay, and that was a true Star Wars story because it was nothing but battles and nothing but like even fucking Jyn Erso's like, yo, fuck like politics. Like if they build this Death Star,
we blow it up.
We're gonna
lose. Yeah.
in submission for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
Like, if they have that, we got to do something about it. And they're like, no, we got to talk about it. We got to be, and then fucking.
We got to vote about it.
Yeah, yo, we got to bring it up to the Senate. Like, fuck the Senate.
See if we're funding the right things.
Me and my gang are going to come blow that shit up. And then eventually their little heist gets it blown up by Luke Skywalker. So the third arc I would choose, and it's back to that slaver arc, the Zygerian arc. So that's where, that's where Anakin,
gets enslaved.
Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, and Rex
They make Ahsoka like their queen or some shit, right?
No, they make Ahsoka a slave. So she pretends to be a slave. But before she even gets to all that, there's a hollow thing found, and it's asking for Obi-Wan's presence. It's like, hey, Obi-Wan, come negotiate, da-da-da. And it's a Zygerian, one of the slave race people. And Anakin takes the holocron and just fucking breaks it.
Did you realize that that Soul's second apprentice in the show is a Zygerian?
Who?
Soul and the Acolyte.
No, I did not.
Squid Game boy.
I did not
Squid
know
Game
that.
man. The one that you were like, I like her because she was yelling on the speaker.
Oh,
she's a Zygerian.
She's a Zygerian?
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy, especially how Zygerians hate Jedis.
Well, she was one.
Because they got rid of their slave empire, which what we learned in this arc. So he's talking to Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan's getting his ass beat. He's getting fucking his shit rocked the whole episode. And
they
Anakin,
take the weapons, that's why.
Yeah, and Anakin and Ahsoka are just like, no, that's the first episode. And they're running around disarming bombs, and they're finding out that Ahsoka's entire species has been uprooted and then sent off to a slave auction. And then that's that part where Obi-Wan gets captured, and then they have to break out. We see Wolf in that episode where they come with Plo Koon. They help them get off that prison, that slave prison camp. But I think this is a good chance to kind of establish some like live action relationship stuff with Anakin and Ahsoka, because Ahsoka learns that Anakin was a slave. Anakin hasn't really told anybody about that except the fucking Jedi Council.
And and I think the two actors, like you said, because the way that they interacted in Ahsoka, I think that would be a beautiful scene between the two of them. Because the way that he was like joking with her, like, "Come on, Snips, it's war," whatever. I feel like that dynamic would work really well with the two of them, like you say.
And Anakin was super serious. As soon as he saw that the guy on the holocron, he broke it, and then we hear Darth Vader's theme in the back, and then Obi-Wan is fucking like kind of nervous too. He's like, "Oh, Anakin hasn't been forthcoming about his past, has he? Not." And then Ahsoka's like, "Only that he won't talk about it." And he's like, "As a boy, Anakin and his mother were sold to the Hutt clans." It's so dramatic. Like he's so dramatic about it. He could just be like, "Oh, Anakin was a slave," but it was like, "No, as a boy, Anakin and his mother were sold into slavery by the Hutt clans." And then Ahsoka's like, "Oh," that's all she says. It's like the most somber as "oh." And I could just see that. I could see that on my screen. On this screen that you could barely see any colors.
That's good.
I could just see nothing but the darkness on this screen.
It better not be. If they film it, they better not make it.
But I think it's a good arc too, because then Anakin, you'll see the flirtatious side of Anakin because he's flirting with the slave queen.
Yep.
Anakin gets to fight Count Dooku in this, and so fuck Count Dooku.
Oh, you gotta recast.
We gotta recast Count Dooku for some reason. Just make him look like the fucking long.
No, don't make him look like that long-faced fuck. No,
we could cut out some scenes.
No, what? You need Dooku.
I know you do need Dooku. So somebody
just recast him.
Somebody youngish.
No, just some old dude.
I know, but somebody young with like a white beard.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna nitpick. I hope you don't nitpick, but you're gonna nitpick.
Star Wars fans are gonna nitpick. They probably would. They're not even gonna. The moment they release the cast for whoever the hell Dooku is, they're gonna lose their mind.
They're gonna beat his ass.
Yeah.
They're gonna hunt him down. But yeah, that's the third arc I would choose. I think
those
just
are all good arcs
heavy
so far.
heavy themes. You start with the light theme with the droids, then you go into the Saw Gerrera arc. That liberating that planet, and then the slaver arc, and then second one. We're just gonna make a big fucking leap.
Surprised that you haven't made one specific one that I've caught.
What is it?
The arc where they're training the clones on Camino.
No, that's
I would want that as live action, like Clone 99 and him and all of them. I love that.
That's one of my honorable mentions, and also the Citadel. The where they have to break out young Tarkin from jail.
Yes.
In that tiny little scarred eye Jedi, that they have the codes for this super important.
Yeah, there's a short one who has like a cane in his sword or whatever.
So that's one of my those are in my honorable mentions. The Domino Squad arc and then the Citadel arc. But the second one that I would go with is the Umbara arc. So Anakin and Rex are pulling up to this planet, and all of a sudden, because Palpatine is the fucking puppet master that he is. He's like, actually, if there's a battle that my fucking future Padawan is gonna fucking die, my future apprentice is gonna die in, it's this. So Anakin, I need you on Coruscant. He pulls out Anakin with the 501st Day.
I don't remember this arc.
You do remember the guy, the General Grievous Jedi with the four
Plo Koon?
double-bladed lightsabers?
Oh, yeah.
He's voiced
Pronkel, whatever the hell.
Pronkel, and he's voiced by the guy from The Walking Dead.
That was a great arc.
That we're gonna get
agree.
deep.
That was such a good arc.
The description I put on here to help you remind it is Rex serves under new Jedi General in one of the toughest battles ever witnessed. The environment is your enemy.
They start going up against their own brothers.
The native people are your enemies, and even your own brothers. Because Ponkrell manipulates the clones into thinking that the enemy took their armor, and they're shooting each other. And then they discover that no, you're not shooting each other. It's just a bunch of clones fighting each other. Which sucks. It's a sad scene, and then Rex has to really draw a sand on the line. And he's like, "Yo, what I'm about to say, we gonna get in trouble."
I like that one scene where he's like, you can't do anything because you're not a commanding officer or something. She's like, I don't give a fuck. I'll kill you or something. Like, with the clones, and I'm like, that scene goes crazy.
Oh, no, he's like, he's talking down to him, the Jedi.
He's like, I'm your commanding officer.
Yeah,
he's like, I don't give a shit.
He's like, stand down, and he says CT something, and he says his number.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's Captain. He replies back, he was like, all right. I mean, he's a commander, but I'm like, talk your shit, Rex.
I'm saying.
So yeah, I think that wouldn't be good on your TV. You're gonna hate that because it would
be
dark.
so dark. Yeah, they would film it so dark.
But then Fives is in it, and then
rip to Fives.
Yeah, RP Fives. So all the 501st clones that we got to know and love, the clones from, I don't know if you remember this arc where Obi-Wan is on there, and there's a little like Felician girl, and the two clones are like with her the whole episode. You remember in Rebels there's a girl with
I know what you're talking about.
With what's her name?
Stuffed animals.
Hera's dad.
Yeah.
Rebels, and she has two clones on her helmet.
Yeah, and it's two clones saved her.
Yeah, but one of those clones dies in that arc, and I don't think a lot of people realize that. And he's talking to Rex about it, and I'm like, that's the guy from the girl in Rebels. So he dies. That's where he meets his end on that shitty ass planet. And then for my last arc that I would choose to incorporate into live action, which I think would be a really crucial part, and that's the Obi-Wan undercover arc, where they kill him, and everybody knows he's not dead except Anakin. And Anakin is pissed. Anakin is so mad. He's sad. He's devastated. And then Yoda's excuse is because we needed it to look real. Mm-hmm. Your feelings is what would sell to the galaxy that Obi-Wan Kenobi was dead. And I think that's when they shave off his head. They make him look like the bounty hunter, and then he has to stop a plot. Be in
prison with Cad Bane.
Yeah, Cad Bane and Count Dooku's there. Really and so I think
they're gonna shave Ewan McGregor though.
No, because they just do that in that one scene where they're shaving his head and Yoda's briefing him on a mission. I think just don't include that scene and all of a sudden just have him look different. Just have somebody else be because Obi-Wan swallows a parasite and it's a voice changer.
It makes him sound different.
Sound exactly like the guy who it was.
Is the bounty hunter.
Yeah, so I think you just cast somebody that's really good at it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, just cast someone else and be like, "This is Obi-Wan."
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's gonna believe it.
And then at the end, have him switch with CGI and then make Ewan come out. Yeah, true.
So I think it was a critical point that proves that.
And you get to see live action Cad Bane not be a bitch again.
That would be cool too.
Because live action Cad Bane got bitched on.
They did bitch him. But then Cad Bane peeps early before Obi-Wan betrays the whole group, and he's like,
"You're Obi-Wan."
I mean, it was Obi-Wan. It was
no. I think isn't he the one person that catches on that it's not the bounty hunter that he says he is?
Exactly. Yeah. So he starts when the mission's failing, he's like, "I'm about to dip out." But then Dooku bugged fucking Obi-Wan's suitcase, and then he realized it was Obi-Wan because he was talking to fucking the Jedi Council while on setting up his sniper scope, and so I think he got a good chance to escape there. But I think it solidifies the kind of ways the Jedi were thinking at the time.
Yeah.
We really got to win this war, so we got to lie to everybody, even our homies.
Yep.
And then they really manipulated Anakin because even
they were doing it forever.
Even Satine was there, and she looked so sad. At Obi-Wan's funeral, and Anakin was just fucking mad. And you have Vader's theme play again, and he was really, really distraught. And even Ahsoka was kind of scared. When Anakin was letting his anger out, she's like, "Yo, chill, dog, relax." And he's like, "Nah, gotta get my lick back. Gotta get my shit back in blood ×2 type shit." So I think those are some of the more significant stories, even if they don't feel that way.
Yeah.
So that's how I would, if I had to choose 5 arcs, those would be my choices. It's a little bit of everything, and they get a little bit more serious as the limited series goes on.
Those are all good ones.
And I think you got to start with a silly one. You got to start with like the droids. I mean,
except that one.
You got to start. You got to start with something nice, but it's one of the more important ones because if R2 doesn't do that, then every single fucking Republic military leader is at this meeting, and then they die.
I know, you're right.
But there's some serious moments with the droids when they have to actually fucking fight. But they're little droids. How are they fighting? You got the battle droid shooting at them. They're like, ah.
And they run away.
They don't got guns. How did they escape from boring. That? Nah, you just don't like any of the other shit that Star Wars has.
No, I like it. I just don't.
You're like,
droids.
Politics?
Nah, it's a snore.
That's part of the war.
But I like some of the politics because I liked Andor. Andor was good.
Andor did do some politics.
And there was a lot of politics in that. And yeah, right. It's the one with the white guy being we're like secret agents and and he speaks like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
But yeah, that's what I would choose. And then the Domino Squad.
That's my choice. If I had to pick one, I'd pick the Domino Squad.
I would like to see the young Tarkin arc where Anakin and Tarkin kind of build a bond. Yep. It's like, hey, you're not like one of those stupid Jedi.
Realizes way later that Darth Vader and Anakin are the same person because of that.
Do that. I would do anything with
I would do the son and father and the that arc with Ahsoka getting evil and then having to fight Anakin. I'd do that arc.
That's a good one. And I only would replace. I would replace the Zygerian arc with that if I had to, because I feel like that's very important. That's a niche one too, though. I feel like if it's a casual, someone's gonna come in to watch that. We're like, what the fuck is this? Like, I feel like that's too Star Wars. You know, too Star. That's why I put it in the middle. I feel like the casual people
like, what the fuck is all this
like,
god shit?
It's the R2D2 guy. And then,
I guess
we'll get the first good ratings for that. But yeah, I would replace the Zygerian arc with that. But I think the Zygerian arc is important too.
I would do Siege of Mandalore live action just because I want to see Darth Maul and Ahsoka fight live action.
I would do the entire Mandalore thing in its own thing.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like I would do like maybe. I'm just tired of Star Wars shit being like 8 to 10 episodes.
Yeah,
like, it needs to be more episodes. Disney needs to start making shit longer.
It's expensive.
It is expensive.
Cheap as shit.
It is expensive. But I would have
for the amount of money that Disney makes, they shouldn't be as cheap as they are, bro.
That's true. Have you been seeing these
billions of fucking dollars?
These TikToks for Disneyland? The Star Wars shit.
The ticket prices go stupid.
They're like, yo, we're spending like $4,000 for a day. The days that we were here.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's crazy.
So I don't know why they cheap out on a lot of shit like that. Because I agree, they should have more episodes and more sets.
Nah, low key, people are shitting on Star Wars. I feel like Star Wars helps pay for a lot of things. A lot of shit that Disney's doing.
Yeah, it does.
I feel like Star Wars is paying for a lot of shit.
But also Marvel. Marvel makes a lot of their money.
True. That's true.
And their parks. The 2 parks. Oh my god, they probably make bank. But I'm saying, those parks.
Like those parks that have those IP specific things.
Yeah.
I'm like, y'all can hate on Marvel, say it sucks. Y'all can hate on Star Wars, say it sucks. But that shit's paying for the shit that.
That's why they keep making shows and stuff.
Other random shit.
If they keep the IP alive, even if no one likes it, there's gonna like. As much as I don't like this, or as much as people don't like the sequel trilogy, there's some people that are younger than me that are obsessed with that stuff because that's what they grew up with.
Like, yo, BB-8.
And I'm not gonna take that away from them because when I grew up with the prequels, I loved the prequels, and everyone around me hated them, and I was like, dude, they're so good.
Boom.
So I don't shit on them, and I get it. And as long as they keep pumping stuff out, there's gonna always be kids that are like, I want to be a Jedi, I want to be a bounty hunter, I want to be a Sith, and
now you can be.
You
can be
at the point
at Star Wars World because they give you some robes.
Listen, I don't believe in charging the fucking price that's ridiculous. But if your family can afford it without going in debt, and that's what you want to give your child, go for it.
Yeah,
but if you're doing it like a dumbass and you're bringing out like loans and house mortgages just to go to Disney World, just don't go. It's not for you, and that's okay.
Don't go. And Disney, make it more affordable, please.
Yes, please. Cause damn, my nigga, they be doing it like crazy.
You gotta accept EBT there or something, bro. You
gotta do it dirty.
You gotta lower the burden.
It'd be like water bottle, $12.
50 cents.
I'm like,
it'd be
what?
$12.49. You don't got a penny? Too bad. We only accept exact change. Stupid, so now you got to pay the 51-cent upgrade to get a little koozie.
Pass.
Yeah.
The pass for you need the water bottle pass.
Yeah.
Then you get free refill.
Yo. Well, that's all I had. I just wanted to talk about my live action.
I gotcha. I'm gonna give you some of my arcs now. Then.
Okay.
How are we going?
So you've got.
Well, I have a few.
Okay.
I said the 2. I think I have a few more.
Okay. No, you said the 1.
I said 2.
Which one did you say?
Siege of Mandalore.
Okay. Yeah.
I would like,
yeah.
and then if it was my show, what was that arc with the clones?
Domino Squad.
Domino Squad.
When they're getting together.
Yeah, where they're training together.
On Camino.
Yeah.
We need to see Camino again. That'd be sick.
I would do the arc with young Boba Fett, and he has like Asajj as a bounty hunter, and they're like doing stuff together. I'd do something with them just so that you could. I want to see live action Asajj, live action Baby Boba, maybe. The lizard man would be really cool to see. Whatever, Bosk. That's it. I was like, what the fuck's his name? The lady with the ponytail, who has a sniper. She looks cool. She's cool. The guy with the hat and that dog.
Yeah,
I want to see him live action.
He be using this shit as like Captain America shit.
Yeah, him.
Yeah, that guy.
I do an arc with them. See them in live action. I
don't know how Dave wears
would you do? I would do a Bad Batch.
Really?
Live action,
live
yeah.
Action I saw that in the list of arcs, and I was like, I don't think I want to see that.
I want to see it. Like season 1, like before they broke up, and like when.
No, it would have to be from the Clone Wars. Like the shit that we saw.
I would say I want to see.
From the Clone
I want to
Wars.
see them before they were introduced.
But we didn't see that in the
7.
Clone Wars.
I know, but that's what I want to see.
Nah,
that.
you got to choose it from the Clone Wars batch of arcs that we got already. It's not making up your own.
I thought that's what we were doing.
Nah, we just copying and pasting.
Okay.
It's the shit that you want to see from that shit that was animated in live action. If you had to choose 5,
and then the Siege of Mandalore.
That's it. You already said that.
No, not Mandalore. Dathomir, like where
Oh,
Grievous and Dooku pull up and start murking people.
I was killing everybody.
Or can I do the animated, like OG 2D animation, or that don't count?
No, you can.
Because then I do Asajj versus Anakin, like where he got his scar.
Action? Oh, that'd be good.
I do that, the introduction of Asajj, and like get someone else to be Anakin, because I feel like that's way too young for him to play that character. And same for Ahsoka. I feel like it'd be 2 really young characters, and you'd see him basically be a teenager fighting.
Yeah.
And
but Ahsoka
earning.
wasn't even there.
Sorry, Asajj, not Ahsoka.
Oh, okay. I was like, what the fuck? I'm like,
that's the first time we get introduced to Asajj Ventress, and like she's the apprentice of Dooku and whatever.
She
and
got
then
2 lightsabers.
Yeah, and then she fights Anakin, gives him his iconic eye scar, and because he like held her back or defeated her, that's when he gets promoted from a Padawan to a knight, and then Yoda cuts off his braid. I would love to see that live action because we never got to see it. He just went from a Padawan to a knight in the movies.
That's actually cool. That's actually a good arc. I like that.
If you allow that,
I'll allow that. I'm like, that's good. I'm like, yo, if you want
to
flip the script, sure. But this is the one I chose things from like the shit.
And if not that one, I'd pick the one where we just follow the clones and they're fucking badass.
Oh, and it's mad silent.
Yeah. It's just them doing action shit. I would love that.
That would be cool. Tale of the Clones. That could be the Tale of the Clones.
I would. So those are the ones I'd pick.
They're like,
yeah, they are so cool in that fucking episode, bro. And then you could also introduce that big slimy nigga, who was the main villain in that episode. That like Obi-Wan has to fight at the end.
Oh yeah, and he blows him up, and
he keeps
like,
recharging.
Yeah,
Or
that was a scary guy.
Yeah,
because
he's
why
a bounty
was
hunter.
Why was he built like that?
Oh, you fight one of them in Jedi Survivor.
Oh really?
You
One of those same exact guys?
Yeah, and you slice him up, and he grows limbs and stuff. It's so cool.
That's kind of scary.
You should play that game, bro. I don't know.
I'm not trying to pay for that. I'm not trying to pay that money.
Game share, I got you.
Bro, I got an Xbox. You know this.
Oh, ew.
Xbox. Actually, I think I have the first one for free.
Okay.
From Game Pass.
It's okay. That one's okay. The second one is literally so much more fun. I got the first one for
free from the Epic Games Store.
But the second one was free. Oh, PlayStation Plus. I was about to say.
That's on
but
PS
you don't have.
I mean, hey,
Xbox.
I'll get a PS something.
Eventually.
I don't know. I'm tired of.
And if they ever please live action Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order, just bring that man in. He's already
alive. You already took his
face.
He's
already an actor. He's really good. Please just bring him in.
I would like a movie.
Do something with him, because God, the story in that game is so good. And the fact that so many Star Wars fans just don't experience it because they're too lazy to play the game.
Me, I didn't even watch it on YouTube.
And even like, dude, that game makes you feel so fucking cool. Like, you feel like such a G when you have like the lightsaber, and you can once you get really good at the combat, you feel like the people in the Acolyte, where you're like pow, dodging and parrying and shooting, and it's so cool.
But I heard as one of the critiques of like, now we're running into fucking Galen Merrick territory. We're like, oh, we can't bring him ever into the story because he's a master of all these forms. He's got all these lightsabers.
That is true. He is kind of OP now, but it is like game mechanics stuff. Like canonically, I think he's just single-bladed and double-bladed lightsaber. But in the game, you use like
and he uses guns.
Yes, that's canon now that he uses guns. And I think the only like force power that's like OP as hell that he uses in the game is like force stop, where like he stops time.
That's kind of
Yeah.
crazy. But it's a video game,
Yeah,
and this is a simulation,
and it's Star Wars.
was
Suspense your disbelief. Bluff.
I thought we were about to end it so smoothly, favorite, and then you go disbelief.
You go ahead, end it.
All right, this was Idle Talk. This is simulation. This is Star Wars. We will see you on the next one. And I know the people that don't want to listen to us talk about Star Wars, but we're passionate. This is from my TikTok homies that be running up the likes about Star Wars content
fans,
that we post sometimes. So this for them.
Appreciate
so we'll
y'all
see you
always
on the next one. I'm gonna take off this hot ass hat, and then we're gonna lock in and reload. Peace. Love, joy.